The confirmed number of coronavirus cases in Los Angeles County comes to 227,346. The confirmed number of deaths reaches 5,446. Here in Torrance, the total number of confirmed cases is 1,221, with total confirmed deaths remaining at 62. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Leslie Robbins. It's 2 p.m. on Friday, August 21st. More than 24 fires continue to wreak havoc on parts of northern and southern California. California Governor Gavin Newsom declared a state of emergency as several counties across the state have been impacted over the course of the week with nearly 370 new wildfires. More than 60,000 residents have been evacuated in the San Francisco Bay Area as fires continue to engulf nearly 780 square miles of the state. The Northern California fires have destroyed 175 structures, including homes, and are threatening 50,000 more. According to CAL FIRE, more than 10,000 firefighters are on the front lines working to put these fires out. Authorities say many of the fires were sparked by nearly 11,000 lightning strikes, strong winds, hot temperatures, and low humidity all week. New satellite images even show some smoke from the wildfires that drifted 600 miles into the Pacific Ocean. Fires from the LNU lighting complex in Napa and Sonoma counties have also grown more than 335 square miles over one day. Governor Newsom secured 2 fire management assistant grants from FEMA to help recover funds spent on battling the fires. The state is said to have requested 375 engines and crew from other states to come and assist. Torrance Fire Department deployed 1 member to the North Complex fire incident this afternoon to Quincy, California. Local resources are also assisting many of the SoCal fires, from the Ranch 2 fire to the Lake fire. Well, the warm temperatures are expected through the end of the day before it starts to taper off over the weekend. Today, you'll feel a high of 84, although it may feel more like it's in the 90s in Torrance, with lows expected to cool down into the low 70s. While there isn't a flex alert to avoid future power outages, the California Independent System Operator says to continue to conserve energy, set the thermostat to 78 degrees or higher in the afternoon and evenings, and avoid using major appliances during the peak hours of 3 p.m. and 10 p.m. The National Weather Service says the heat wave over Southern California is anticipated through today. The Ken Miller Recreation Center will not be open today, but Los Angeles County does have a number of cooling centers open from 12 p.m. until 6 p.m. today and tomorrow. You can go to lacounty.gov/heat. The South Coast Air Quality Management District issued a special air quality advisory for Los Angeles County through today. Those wildfires, which produce chemicals that form ozone, may also contribute to increased ozone levels, and poor air quality is expected throughout the county due to the fires. And with high temperatures expected to continue, those who have heart disease, asthma, or respiratory illnesses are urged to minimize outdoor activities and stay indoors. And children who have sensitive conditions should also not participate in any outdoor physical activities and are also advised to stay indoors as much as possible. California Governor Gavin Newsom continues to deal with not only the massive fires in the state, but concerns of how to help the millions who are not receiving the additional unemployment benefits that ran out in July. Newsom says millions of Californians could see the new $300 benefit as early as the beginning of next month. President Donald Trump signed executive orders on August 8th to provide assistance to those who've lost jobs or wages due to the health crisis by introducing a new $300 unemployment benefit. Now, while that's $300 less than what Californians were receiving previously, Congress has not been able to come to an agreement on a new plan. Trump's order allows states to provide an additional $100 in unemployment to help bring the potential to $400. But Newsom says California cannot afford it. 28 states so far have said they will dispense the $300 federal unemployment aid in the next few weeks. Waiting for a COVID test result may only take a few minutes. Now, thanks to a new antigen test approved by the Food and Drug Administration. The FDA recently granted emergency use authorization to a British company that says they give coronavirus test results in about 12 minutes. Antigen tests work by rapidly detecting fragments of the virus in a sample. They are fast, but they tend to miss more infections than slower tests based on a technology called polymerase chain reaction, or PCR. The company called Lumira DX stated that negative results from antigen tests do not rule out infection and that a positive test should not be used as the sole basis for treatment. This new test, which must be administered by a healthcare professional, is performed using a brick-sized device made by Lumira DX and depends on a swab sample collected from a patient's nasal cavity. It is intended to be used for patients who have developed COVID-19 symptoms within the last 12 days, or the past 12 days, excuse me. The authorization does not address using it to screen people without symptoms. The company said tests would begin shipping out by the end of August, with up to 10 million tests produced by December. Well, speaking of COVID testing, researchers at MIT, Brigham and Women's Hospital, and Boston Dynamics are working on what could be the future of medicine. Experts are developing a way to allow health professionals to possibly limit contact altogether with patients when coming in for a COVID test. Dr. Spot is a customized four-legged dog-like robot that can operate monitoring equipment and take vital signs. It's a hyper-local version of telemedicine, which has become hugely popular since the start of the pandemic, as doctors and nurses are able to see patients remotely online or by phone. Dr. Spot also has that potential to help reduce the risk of exposure for medical personnel and drastically reduce the use of personal protective equipment, conserving resources when they are needed the most. Dr. Spot can measure vital signs including skin temperatures, respiratory heart rate, and blood oxygen saturation all at once, which are all key metrics that healthcare professionals track when determining the progress of COVID-19 in a patient. For the purposes of this study, Dr. Spot was deployed in a hospital setting, but only took measurements from health volunteer research subjects in order to validate the accuracy of its measurement and sensor equipment. Now, while this was just a study to see if something like this could be used in the future, researchers say the results are showing promise. Well, a new kind of mask will soon be available. The Food and Drug Administration approved the world's fully transparent surgical mask. Now, the face covering is surgical grade and can be used in the operating room, clinics, schools, and hospitality settings. While the N95 masks are proven to be most effective at blocking transmission of COVID-19, covering the mouth has made it difficult to communicate. This is made by Clear Mask LLC, an American medical supply company. Makers say the Clear Mask allows for the user to have improved visual communication. These are also anti-fogging and can help those who are hearing impaired during conversations. These masks can be purchased online right now. As fears of flying and travel quarantine policies continue to impact the airline industry, a new scientific study is saying the risks of contracting coronavirus while flying are actually relatively low. According to experts, the transmission rates of COVID-19 are much lower than people may fear. A recent study published by the Journal of the American Medical Association shares that air circulation in modern aircraft cabins are now replaced with fresh new air every 2 to 3 minutes, and most planes are fitted with air filters designed to trap 99.99% of particles. And with new protocols implemented, such as face coverings for both passengers and crew, which is now mandatory on most airlines, temperature screenings, as well as more intensive cabin cleaning and limited movement on the plane during flight, experts say have all contributed to a safer environment. Some airlines have even banned vented masks with valves or vents, as the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say it does not stop the spread of COVID-19. These can only be worn if they are covered with a second non-vented mask. Well, the nation's largest movie theater company reopened locations across the U.S. this week with 15-cent tickets. While states like California, New York, and Florida did not participate in the reopening, AMC officials say more than 100 locations did welcome back moviegoers beginning yesterday. And celebrating their 100th anniversary, for one day only, tickets were priced at their 1920s cost of 15 cents a ticket. Movies shown across the states included many throwback films. Officials say in honor of their centennial celebration, pricing will be reduced to $5 per ticket. AMC rivals Regal Cinemas reopened their doors today, while Cinemark has already opened theaters across 23 states. Now, going to the movies will also require patrons to mask up, social distance, and movie theaters say they have begun aggressive cleaning and disinfectant protocols in between showings. Well, in just 1 week, the highly anticipated release of the Disney adaptation of Mulan will be available to Disney Plus subscribers. The 2020 version of the animated 1998 film is based on the Ballad of Mulan from Chinese folklore. The 2020 version takes place nearly 2,000 years ago. The movie, which begins with the Emperor of China ordering that one male in a family must join the country's army to fight off an enemy force. Well, for one family who only has a daughter, Mulan, she poses as a male and joins the Imperial Army. The $200 million budgeted film was originally scheduled to be released in March, just as the pandemic shut down all theaters. Now, to see the film on September 4th, you would need a Disney Plus subscription, which starts at $6.99 per month or $69.99 for the whole year, plus an additional one-time fee of $29.99. This will allow users to stream and watch the movie as many times as you like. Well, some good news for taxpayers as the Internal Revenue Service announced interest payments will be mailed to millions in the coming weeks. The IRS says that interest payments are owed to nearly 14 million Americans who received their individual tax refunds after April 15th or are still owed refunds. The IRS says the average payment is said to be just under $20. Now, the reason for the money owed is blamed on the health pandemic. Now, early into the health crisis, the IRS postponed the deadline for filing to July 15th, 3 months after the traditional deadline. The delay also meant that refund money sat in the hands of the IRS longer than it normally would. And during that time, the money generated interest that the IRS is now required to pay out. Taxpayers who receive their refunds by direct deposit should also get the interest payment deposited in the same way. Everyone else will get a check in the mail. This is only made available to individual tax filers, not to businesses. Renters in the U.S. face a serious problem come Monday, August 24th, as millions who were protected from eviction by the CARES Act will no longer be shielded. This also includes more than 28 million workers claiming unemployment benefits since the beginning of the month. If further protection or assistance isn't provided, statistics say close to 30 million people could be displaced from their homes over the next year. Earlier this month, the Judicial Council of California voted to end 2 temporary rules on evictions and foreclosures, putting renters at risk of eviction beginning September 1st. Well, just in time, the County of Los Angeles launched a $100 million rent relief program on Monday, with just one more week to go before the application period closes. Already, there have been tens of thousands of interested applicants hoping to meet the criteria. The federal coronavirus relief money will be managed by the Los Angeles County Development Authority and will pay landlords directly to help settle unpaid rent. The program hopes to assist upwards of 9,000 families who've been financially hurt by the health crisis. Residents unable to pay their rent and living on 30% of the median income could receive up to $10,000. Those at 50% of the median income could get up to $7,500. The eligible income limit for a household of 4 people, including money earned by all adults in that household, is roughly $56,000. Residents can check their eligibility online. Now, reasons for inability to pay rent could be loss of income due to reduced hours or business closures, medical costs related to COVID-19, increased child care costs, or loss of income. Qualifying residents living in Torrance can apply by going online. That's 211la.org/LA-County/rent relief. The application deadline is Friday, August 28th. LYFT and Uber will continue to operate today and at least for the next few weeks. A California appeals court judge granted the rideshare giants an extension to their appeal with oral arguments set to be heard on October 13th. The preliminary injunction that would force companies to reclassify their drivers as employees would have gone into effect today. Companies now have until early September to outline their plans on how they will make drivers employees if they lose the appeal or if Prop 22 does not pass in California. Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi says the company can't simply hire all 50,000 of its drivers overnight. It will take time, and we will figure out a way to be in California. That might also mean having to underwrite driver productivity. Fewer drivers will likely be employed. There will be less flexibility for drivers on the number of hours they can work, and the price of each ride is likely to also go up by 20% or more. Now, looking ahead, Californians will vote on Prop 22 come November 3rd, a ballot measure funded by Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash, which aims to keep gig workers classified as independent contractors. Now, if the measure is passed, it would make drivers and delivery workers exempt from the new state law that classifies them as W-2 employees. As the Democratic National Convention officially endorsed Joe Biden as the official Democratic presidential nominee, the public will now have at least 3 debates between President Trump and former Vice President Biden to hear them go head-to-head. The debates have allowed voters to see how the candidates match up on issues and against each other. While the format of the future debates is unclear, the first round of presidential and vice presidential debates are set for September 29th in Cleveland. The vice presidential debate is on October 7th. The Nonpartisan Commission on Presidential Debates has organized and conducted these for more than 3 decades. All of the debates will be 90 minutes in length and will run without commercial breaks. Well, a popular canned soup is being recalled today. Faribault Foods, which produces Progresso organic chicken noodle soup, is recalling more than 15,000 pounds of canned soup products due to misbranding and undeclared allergens. The U.S. Agriculture's Food Safety and Inspection Service announcous this week that products containing milk and soy allergens, as well as beef and pork, have not been declared on the product label. The 14-ounce can has a best buy date of June 9th, 2022, printed on the product case or on the bottom of the can. Consumers who have purchased these products are urged not to consume them and throw them away or return it to the place of purchase for a refund. Well, here's a story that kids and adults might perk up about. If you're a fan of Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal, you can now get that flavor bottled in a jar. The B&G Food-owned brand announced on social media that it's releasing a CINNADUST seasoning blend that is said to taste just like a bowl of the actual cereal. The new item is a blend of 6 ingredients like sugar, cinnamon, hints of vanilla, as well as graham. The product can be found exclusively inside the membership-only Sam's Club. With the fall school year kicking off in Torrance in less than a week, we want to hear what your plans are to help your kids succeed in the age of COVID-19. We'd love to hear tips or suggestions that you might have that other families could find helpful. Torrance Unified School District is slated to begin their first day of distance learning on Wednesday, August 26th. Now, whether you have a preschooler or a teen in high school and every grade in between, we want to hear from you. And parents working from home, managing distance learning for your kids, and making personal and professional adjustments, share with us how you plan to make it work for your family, as we are all in this together. Email us at covid19today@torranceca.gov. Well, before we go, at the end of each program, we like to share stories from our community. Feel-good pictures, images, and videos that remind us all of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. Well, the city of Torrance hosted a school supply drive to help hundreds of families in need during this health pandemic. And city employees and community members showed their generosity as boxes of school supplies were dropped off. Now, the city dropped off the donated goods yesterday to the school district, and district officials tell us thanks to these generous donations, collected items will help 131 homeless students and 120 foster youth in the Torrance Unified School District. What a great way for the community and city to rally together to show how Torrance cares for its students, families, and those especially in need during this health crisis. Now, if you have a great story to share, be sure to email us. We would love to hear from you. And that is our update for COVID-19 today. We hope you'll join us again tomorrow at 2 p.m. as Rhiannon Trutanich brings you the latest updates. Please be safe, stay healthy, and thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.